FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
JPEG Luca and JP's Talk About Town has returned after a brief hiatus.
Brief.
Well, it's been a busy month. I have to say it's been a busy month. It's been a wonderful month. Lots of music around. That's Pete Coles on the other side of the board this morning, as he sometimes is. You had a brief hiatus earlier this summer.
Yeah.
As you were helping with...
I don't think I'm doing that a month again. That was a lot.
Well, you see, you've set the stage for others to now follow your lead down there.
I think 2 weeks is plenty.
Yeah, you set them up and then let them roll.
Yeah.
And then all they got to do is turn the switch off at the end of the run.
Right, and make sure it's packed properly.
Oh, yeah, well, there's that. Did you buy them road cases?
They don't want to buy road cases. We bought plastic tubs.
Buy road cases, man.
I tried to convince them to buy road cases, and they're not buying it.
For anyone that has aspirations of bringing hardware on the road, meaning band equipment, sound equipment, lighting, PA, radio stuff,
computers,
whatever it is, you might spend $1,000 on the piece. Spend another $400 on a good road case to put it in, because it'll last a whole long time. You rode,
because they're moving monitors and things like that, and I'm like, you can partition a road case to have the computer monitor. You just give them the dimensions, and they do it for you.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the stuff I have, it all has its own little, everything lives in its little place.
Right.
And I've had it for years, and it still looks like new. Most of the hanging lights that we use on the road, and it's. For the money you put into them, it's worth it. It's just part of the investment. But I digress.
No, that's okay. People wonder when they see you at the green with all those rolling cases rolling all over the place.
Now you know why. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I have cases for most of my stuff now.
When you need a break, it's a good thing to sit on.
True. I have cases for most of my stuff now.
Now I will say, as we wind down this wonderful summer of music and entertainment, I think I found my next best friend for long events.
What's that? A second chair?
A soft, cushy office chair.
I could. We did that in Florida. We were at our second field, our baseball field, and they had like a little conference room for the Little League in there, in the concession stand. It was its own little room, and they had it there, and it was great. But it had those nice, they were fairly cheap, but they had padding on them.
Yeah.
And so for the announce times, the scoreboard guy and the scorekeeper had like folding metal chairs, and we rolled out them suckers, and that's what we did our games in. It was so much better in those chairs.
Well, I had the pleasure of running PA for Food Fest last weekend, and that was Friday night, a long day for setup Friday, and then you do a tear down, you strike, and you bring it back Saturday morning. But it makes for a long day, especially Saturday.
Yep.
You arrive at 8 in the morning, and you're not rolling out until almost midnight.
I think you made it over to the City Cafe around 11:15.
Yeah. Okay. Then I was earlier than I thought.
Yep.
But as I was loading up, the last thing as I was loading up on Friday, I found this. Yeah, I just noticed in the corner of the garage, hey, there's an old office chair. The nice, cushy, soft ones that you can adjust the height on. So
right, yeah.
When you sit down, it's not a hard surface and it bounces a little. So I sat behind my soundboard with my soft, cushy chair. All the grief I got all day by people. Hey,
from Pete?
Yeah. Well,
did Pete give you grief, or did he realize?
Everybody did. Everybody gave me grief. But
we kept shouting out Pete as he walked by. You know that, right? Every time he walked by our place, because I had the speaker going.
Oh yeah.
I gave him a shout out, and he one time he was like, eh. One time he was like, heh.
That's you're
I'm like, Pete's
about
not in a good mood.
My partner Pete.
Yeah.
From Pete Gaudreau and I have known each other since junior high school. It's where we met doing sound and lighting on stage for the junior high. And that grew into sound and lighting for bands, and we're still doing it.
Speaking of which, the music is not quite over yet.
It's not.
Because Whitaker Hill is next to Mina's Wine and Spirits, finishing the Artworks Summer Concert Series.
Whitaker Hill or Whiskey? I had Whiskey Traveler. Did they change
Oh,
the
maybe
schedule?
it is Whiskey Traveler. Sorry.
Yeah.
I believe... No, you're right. It is Whiskey Traveler.
That's going to be this evening. next
Correct.
to Mina's Wine and Spirits, and I think that's their last.
It is. It's
concert
the final one in the
summer.
series. Yep.
So if you've been following that all summer long, every Friday, Artworks has been putting that together. And Probe Rashamwala and his wife Mina.
The Downtown Live series.
Downtown Live. And then we're actually going to stand down for a few weeks as far as entertainment locally. And coming up, though, in October. Well, no, I take that back. The end of September, of course, the Big E is happening, and everybody
kind of takes a break.
That. Yeah.
Everybody takes a break during the Big E.
Let's go to the Big E.
Well, and they have a lot of good music. They have a ton of good music acts over there, too.
They do, and most of that is free on the Court of Honor stage.
Yep.
Of course, the lots of pop-up entertainment in the courtyard by Storeton Tavern. There's always lots to see and do over at the Big E. No surprise. And if you like fried foods, you can always find, if it's deep fried.
Joe Didi's toying with some stuff. He talked about it on the air.
It's on the Big E's grounds.
He's toying. He's got a new machine.
Really? What's
yes. It's some kind of new moo nut or something, and then he's got something else too.
A deep fried moo nut?
No, well, it's a donut to begin with, and then they fill it with ice cream, and they make it like a sundae.
Joe Didi, of course, owner of
Moolicious.
And
apparently he's got a new rig too.
He does. He had it. He had it at Food Fest.
That's the old rig.
He's got a new old rig.
He's got a new rig. Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Or no, he's going to be under tents this time. He's doing it under tents, and then he's got a facade built up for it. So instead of dragging the trailer over there, he's going to have a bigger area, and he's got a facade for it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's ice cream always moves on a hot day at the Big E.
Ice cream moves on a cold day at the Big E.
Yeah, well, that's true. And, of course, speaking of cold, my old friends at the Ski Inn are going to be there again with clothing, skis, snowboards, heralding in the cold weather season.
He has invited us, Joe has invited us back out to the ski area this winter. And he says he'll make breakfast for us.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
He wants us out. He'd like us out more than once, but once would be great.
Okay. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. It's and of course, Blandford has now changed hands. That's now owned by Butternut. And
I think that's part of the reason they want us out there.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jeff has done. Jeff Murdoch, owner of Butternut, what he has done. They spent last year really upgrading the infrastructure, both snowmaking, the lifts. And I think the product is going to be impressive. I really do. I'm excited. I grew up skiing there in the '60s, so it's nice to see the evolution. And while I'm sorry to see the Springfield Ski Club fade away, the ski business is just too involved. It's too complicated. It's too regulated to continue to be run by a volunteer organization. It was just getting a little unwieldy. And so I'm pleased. Jeff had a vision of continuing the traditions.
It's a nice spot. It really is.
That Blandford had. I remember talking to him the day he came down, his first tour of the mountain. It's got to be a year and a half ago now. He'd never been there. He'd never been to the site. Of course, when you own a ski area, you kind of don't get to leave.
Yeah, and you also don't always get to see the competition either.
So it was a summertime. He got on a four-wheeler and kind of took a tour of the mountain. And, he's like, holy cow, this is beautiful.
Yeah. And
it is. It's a beautiful site. So he has lots of, and it's not just going to be a one-time investment. This thing is going to grow over the next few years to be really better, and can't get bigger because you can only go so high. And
you can go wide.
Well, no, they've kind of developed the whole property there. It's about 900 acres, and most of that has been developed with trails. I think the trick is to put snow on those trails, and getting to that point is an expensive proposition.
Have machine making on all the trails.
Well, I would hope, but that's you're looking at a lot of investment.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah,
and you can't do it overnight.
Yep.
So let's see what happens there. This is JPEG Luca, JP's Talk About Town. We talk about entertainment, lots of fun happenings around Western Mass and in Greater Westfield in particular. In our bottom of the hour, we're going to be running our Golden Age of Radio. Fibber McGee and Molly will be featured. And then I have a visitor for our 7 o'clock hour. We'll talk about him right after this.
Could use a few pounds. High pants points, hardly renowned. She was a black-haired beauty with big dark eyes. Points all wrong, sitting way up high. Way up Furman High. I passed the cornfields when the woods got heavy. Out in the back seat of my 60 Chevy. Working on mysteries without any clues. Working on our night moves. Trying to make some one-page driving news. Practicing our night moves. In the summertime. In the sweet summertime, summertime. We were in love, oh no, far from it. We weren't searching for some pie in the sky song. We were just young and restless and bored, living by the sword. And we steal away every chance we could. The back room, the alley, or the trusty wood. I used her, she used me, but neither one cared. We were getting our share, yeah, practicing our night moves. Trying to lose the awkward teenager, working on our night moves. It was just like Southern Michigan summertime. And oh, I wonder. Hey, we felt the lightning. Yeah. Now we're waiting on the thunder. Waiting on the thunder. I woke last night to the sound of thunder. How far off, I sat and wondered. Started humming a song from 1962. Ain't it funny how the night moves? We just don't seem to have as much to lose. Strange how the night moves. With autumn closing in. I remember
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Placek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. Ken's Den, Tuesday, 8 to 10.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And this is JPEG Luca. JP's Talk About Town, along with Pete Coles on the other side of the board. Welcome to Friday. You've made it through another week.
Allegedly.
Close enough.
Holiday weekend.
You know, we're playing a little bit of Bob Seger. Haven't heard that in a while, and I'm actually going up to see a Bob Seger tribute band in New Hampshire.
You become a tribute band specialist.
Not a specialist, but turning into kind of a junkie, I think.
Connoisseur.
A connoisseur. All right, I'll buy that one. And there's a lot of reasons for that, not the least of which...
You're auditioning.
No, I'm not. No,
you're auditioning for acts for down here.
Oh, on the receiving side, yes. No, I'm not trying to become part of one of those bands.
No.
You don't want to hear me sing.
No.
You don't want to hear me play an instrument. That's why I do sound and lighting.
Right, yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that has been a fun ride, and we're looking for a lot of tribute bands for hopefully an idea that's floating around about a concert series here in Greater Westfield. So more to come on that. What we are trying to do, and you'll hear more about this as we firm things up, but mid-April next year, the folks at the Westfield Police Auxiliary enable us to do so many things around downtown, like Music Fest, and when we close, like Food Fest, like
parades,
like Oktoberfest, the parades, all of those things. Those guys are all volunteers.
Yep.
And they even buy most of their own gear.
Yep.
So what we want to do is do a fundraiser for them.
And they deserve it.
In the spring, we're working together to bring a tribute band into town. And you'll hear more about this. It's a high-end tribute band of a 70s band that I think you'll enjoy. So
I'm there.
That's coming up. That'll be oh boy, I can't even say the date for sure because I haven't booked the band yet. So
it'll be about time when you have cabin fever.
Exactly. Yeah, we're looking at April.
Yeah,
sometime
cabin
in
fever
April.
time.
And it's just like I'm itching to get out. Got to do something.
Right.
So and hopefully the weather will start being nice and we won't have any more snow. Of course, I say that now. What was it snowing in April last year, right? So that's coming up. More to come on that.
Just for that.
Yeah?
You got the buzzer.
Oh, I don't want the buzzer. What? What's wrong with snow? We're talking about skiing. April. Well, all right. Even I'm tired of snow by April. One of the things that I love about New England, and I'm guessing most of you, because you haven't moved yet, feel about New England is,
well,
the change of seasons is wonderful. I like summer, but I'm kind of getting tired of the hot weather. I don't know about you.
I've had a couple of days where it felt like Florida.
Yeah. And this, in fact, just the past week, it's like, don't go outside. No, I'm not going outside.
Oh, see, in Florida, I could not go outside.
Right. You didn't even have an air
conditioned
booth.
Because I was wiring ball fields.
Yeah.
No, I had an air-conditioned trailer when we were doing the production part.
Did you
of it.
really?
But when I was doing the wiring and getting the cameras mounted and stuff like that, you can't avoid it because you're out there.
Yeah, and you're just dripping sweat.
For days on end.
Yeah.
And you're just trying... my water pills didn't even work. I was sweating so much.
Wow. So...
I took my water pill every morning. I'm like, geez, I'm not running to the bathroom all the time. And then I'm looking down and I'm going, oh, yeah, I'm sweating it all out.
My favorite time of year is coming up. just about
Fall.
the time we're tired of the hot, fall comes around.
This is Michael Buster McMahon's favorite time of year, too.
And, I'm waiting for that first snowflake to come down, and heralding in the ski season. And, oh, stop it. Now you're going to make everyone panic. Yeah.
You just did. You mentioned the S word.
Yeah. Snow. Yeah, see, everyone panics. Snow doesn't hurt anybody. You sit in your house and you watch it fall, and it's pretty.
It's when the foolish people get on the road with four wheels in a vehicle is when it becomes a problem.
That's not even a problem. It's the ones that don't know how to deal with it. or if you're in the eastern part of Massachusetts, those guys, they don't do snow. Of course, there's nothing funnier than a Texan when it snows in Texas. There is nothing funnier than a Texan in a car that doesn't know how to drive it. He just comes off the stop sign, stomps on the gas, and the wheels just spin.
Yep.
So, anyway, fall is coming, and of course that brings the big E and deep fried anything and entertainment and eat way more than you need to. It's all coming up. We're looking forward to it. Snow. It's one of my favorite recent cartoons. Not cartoons, commercials. Where am I going with this?
I don't know. I'm letting you fly on that one.
My favorite commercials recently having to do with winter, and it was Dunkin' Donuts, one of our underwriters. It was a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, and it was all about the snowplow drivers getting excited about that first snowfall. Well, in this case, it was the first snowflake. They're all in their trucks. They all got their Dunkin' Donuts coffee in their hands. They're ready to go, and they're going, and they're all on the radios going, "Here it comes! Here it comes! Here it comes!" And this one snowflake falls to the road, and they all go after it. So it was a great commercial. So
I
was excited about it. What are you going to do?
Take the break. We have Golden Age of Radio next.
We have a break?
Yes, I'm not going to play music, though, because we're at 6:28 in the morning here on WSKB.
But you don't have to play music. You can just go kind of like right to the break and right to the thing. And
yeah, that's the plan.
This is JPEG Luca, and right after Golden Age of Radio, we have Ned Pavlak stopping in. He's a communications major from Holyoke Community College. We're going to be talking about what they're doing at Holyoke and in that communications program right after our Golden Age of Radio, which is Fibber McGee and Molly. That's coming up right after this.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. That's what you'll find on Ken's Den, Tuesdays from 8 till 10.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly, brought to you each Tuesday in America and by transcription and shortwave broadcast to our men in uniform overseas. Makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by the King's Men and music by Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with a Shine on Your Shoes. you don't know the best way to take care of the finish of your car, will you let me make a suggestion? There's a Johnson combination product called Carnu, spelled C-A-R-N-U, that both cleans and polishes in one application. If you'll try Carnu just once on your car, I know you'll be delighted with the results. Carnu saves time and work and money. It's a liquid polish. You rub it on, let it dry, and wipe it off. It gives your car back its original showroom shine. Makes it sparkle with a minimum of work. Then, if you want to give added protection to the finish, save car washings, make cleaning still easier, you can add a coat of wax, either Johnson's Auto Wax or the regular household wax. Take better care of your car with Johnson's Carnu. Well, sir, espionage has come to Wistful Vista. At least Fibber McGee thinks so. Every place he goes, there's a small, dark man with a semi-concealed camera taking pictures of this and that. And here at 79 Wistful Vista, discussing his suspicions, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
I'm telling you, Molly, the guy is a spy. Every place I go, there he is, snapping pictures. Click, 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 all day long, with that little camera.
Well, where, for instance?
Outside the Elks Club, and down by the bridge, and near the railroad station, the powerhouse, and every place.
Well, I don't know, McGee. Somehow I can't think of the Elks Club as a military objective. Though it might be classified as an ammunition dump.
What you mean?
Well, there's so much lead sitting around there.
But the bridge, and the powerhouse, and the railroad station, them are all military objections.
For that matter, what were you doing around the railroad station and the powerhouse and the bridge?
I was to all them places on business.
What business?
Well, I had to go to the station to mail an important letter. Wanted to get it off on the 142.
Whom were you sending it to?
The National College of Self-Improvement in Harmonica Playing. You'll admit my harmonica playing could be improved.
I'll confess that without being tortured. But what were you doing at the power station?
There was a bunch of linemen down there installing a new transformer.
Yes?
Yes. And I always been fascinated the way them guys can climb up a telephone pole with them spurs of theirs. One guy, a fellow named Joe, got a sliver in his leg, and he...
Remind me to send flowers, dearie. But I still don't know what you were doing there.
I was watching them, doggone it. The guy can't sit around the Elks playing rummy all day long, can he? And there was this guy with his little camera. Click, 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 all day long. You know what first made me suspicious of him?
What?
Every time I'd look at him, he'd look away.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
McGee, I love you, but don't get the idea that everybody who doesn't like to look at you for hours at a time is a foreign spy. Heavenly days, the whole country will wind up in a concentration camp.
And just the same, there was something fishy about that guy. I think he's another Harry Matty.
A what?
A Harry Matty. You know, a spy. Harry Matty was shot in the last war when they caught her trying to conceal...
No, that was Matta Harry.
I can't be bothered with little details about...
Come in.
Oh, hi, Latrivia.
Why, hello, Mr. Mayor.
Good day, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee. Do I understand that you called my office this morning?
I certainly did, Latrivia. They told me you were in a council meeting and couldn't be bothered.
Couldn't be disturbed, I believe she said.
Well, what's the difference? You don't seem to realize, Latrivia, that you're working for us. We pay you. You're just a public servant, and we're the public. When we want something, you ought to snap out of it. Huh?
Don't talk like that to Mayor Latrivia. What'd you call him for, anyway?
Yes, I'd like to know, too, McGee. Like most taxpayers, you seem to labor under the delusion that public officials should come running to wipe your little noses every time you sneeze. If Mrs. McGee will pardon my plain speaking.
Mrs. McGee loves it.
Well, look, Latrivia, I wanted to report a suspicious-looking guy that's hanging around town.
McGee, if we arrested every odd-looking man in this town, Wistful Vista would soon be known as the Deserted Village. It would be a ghost town.
Well, McGee thinks this man was a spy, Mr. Mayor.
He is a spy. I'm convinced. He takes pictures, click, 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 all day long, of everything of importance in this town. He's been following me for 2 days now. He carries a camera under his coat.
Does he look intelligent?
No. Looks like he'd had nothing above his eyes but sinus trouble. But that don't mean that...
I'm inclined to take it lightly myself, Mr. Latrivia, but maybe it would be better to investigate.
Very well, I'll have him picked up for questioning. Do you wish to sign a complaint?
Sure I do.
Oh, well then if you were wrong, dearie, there'd be nothing against you but a charge of false arrest, malicious prosecution, and invasion of private rights.
That's all. You might get out of it for as little as $100,000 in damages.
Why don't I keep my big mouth shut? Forget picking him up, Latrivia. I'll get the goods on him myself. He thinks he's trailing me, well, I'll trail him.
Well, what fun. Can I play too? And if we all join hands, we can keep better track of each other.
Well, if that's all you wanted, McGee, I'd better be running along. Wait a minute. Look out the window, McGee.
Huh? Where?
Under that big tree across the street. Is that the man?
You mean the one looking this way with his hat pulled down over his eyes?
That's him. That's the guy. What's he doing?
It looks like he's focusing a camera on your front door, McGee.
If they come out good, I'll take a dozen.
This is no time for joking, Molly. Look, Latrivia, you walk down the street and we'll see if he follows you.
Me?
Scared?
No. I'll keep my mouth closed so he won't plant a bomb under my bridges.
Oh,
I'll call you from my office and see what happens.
well, we'll be watching. Goodbye, Mr. Mayor.
Goodbye, Mr. McGee.
And, Latrivia,
Yes?
if anything happens to you, well, I'll always remember you as the best mayor we ever had.
A friend of the people.
He wore no man's collar.
Fearless and independent.
A credit to his party. The working man's pal.
Stop it, for heaven's sake. Nothing's going to happen to me. You watch. Keep an eye on him, McGee.
Good luck.
Gee, I hope nothing does happen.
Oh, heavenly days, McGee. What do you suppose?
Oh, my gosh. I completely forgot.
Forgot what?
When I realized that guy was following me, I strung a rope across the porch step.
Still out there. He didn't follow the mayor at all.
What'd I tell you? It's me he's after.
Well, I don't know why he should be interested in you. You don't have any military secrets. And even if you did, everybody knows you couldn't keep them. Which may be why you haven't got any.
Maybe them guys have discovered what I'm working on.
Well, then they're smarter than I am. What are you working on?
You won't tell?
Certainly not.
Okay. I'm working on an idea for the Signal Corps. I'm going to try and breed a triple-cross bird. I'm going to cross a homing pigeon with a woodpecker, and then cross the result of that with a parrot.
With what object in mind?
To get a bird that will fly to the right place, knock on the door, and speak the message.
That's marvelous. Why don't you work an ostrich in there, too?
Huh?
Then if pursued by an enemy, he can stick his head in the sand and they can't hear what he says.
Say, maybe you got something. Oh, no. That ain't practical. I thought for... Uh-oh. Wonder if that's him.
No. He's still across the street. Come in.
Well, I'll be a Horatio K. Boomer.
Hello, Mr. Boomer.
Good day, my dear. And a messy May morning to you, monkey face.
Just what is it that you think you can do us for today, Boomer?
Now, that's no way to talk to a guest. Or anybody else, McGee. Maybe Mr. Boomer has a very legitimate reason for this intrusion, or this visit.
Certainly have, my Pippin, certainly have. Salvaging metal for the government. Wanted to see if you had any gold or silver lying around that you can spare.
Gold or silver?
That's what I said, pistachio puss. Now, let me see. We could start with this gold wristwatch of yours, needle nose, and maybe we...
Let go of my watch, you nimble-knuckled nephew of Nicodemus.
We won't give you a thing, Mr. Boomer, unless you have some proper credentials.
I'll say not. You're as crooked as a plate of spaghetti. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could nudge the Normandy. Let's see your credentials.
Why, certainly. Credentials, have them right here someplace. Now, let me see. Here's a fresh package of bubble gum. Take it, my boy.
What does he want with bubble gum?
Don't know, my dear, but I always carry it in case I meet some little blowhard. How would I put those credentials?
Maybe you forgot the forge any.
No, I spent all yesterday afternoon. What was I looking for? Oh, yes, credentials. Here's a short length of lead pipe. Had to work on a little drip last night. Stubborn fellow. Here's a package of new $10 bills.
Say, what's Lincoln's picture doing on a $10 bill?
Sure, it ought to be Alexander Hamilton.
Isn't that amazing? And that stupid engraver of mine majored in American history at Leavenworth. Now, where are those credentials? Here's a small woman's handbag. Given up trying to take them from large women. And a check for a short beer. Well, imagine that.
No credentials.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Oh, sorry we couldn't do any business, my tiresome little twosome. Better luck next time. Good day, my dear, and cheap cheerio to you, chipmunk.
Mr. Boomer's been all this time.
When a guy like him ain't been seen any place for exactly 90 days, you can draw your own conclusions. Hey, look, that spy is still out there. I think I'll go out someplace and see if I get followed some more.
Oh, no, don't, McGee. Something might happen.
Oh, I can take care of myself. I'll wear my badge.
Which one? Junior G-Man or chicken inspector?
Those are just gag badges, Molly. I got a deputy sheriff's badge from Peoria. See?
Oh.
Yeah.
You going to make him follow you all the way to Peoria?
Oh, no. Now, look. Here's what I'll do. I'll walk kind of casual down toward the airport, then out to the steelworks.
Hello, folks. Say, what are you looking so serious about?
Somebody's been following McGee around, Mr. Wilcox.
Yeah, and he keeps taking pictures of me. Click, 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 all day long. Every place I go.
Oh, who is he?
Well, we don't know. McGee thinks he's a foreign spy.
Say, that's strange. I had an odd experience last Saturday night myself.
Yeah?
I followed a suspicious-looking man all over town.
Heavenly days, I'm getting the creeps. Who was he, Mr. Wilcox?
A spy?
That's what I thought. He first attracted my attention when I saw him come out of a doorway, sort of hiding a bundle under his coat.
Oh.
He looked both ways up the street and then sneaked off down an alley.
Excuse me, boys, while I run up and wash my hair. I might as well do it while it's standing on end.
Wait a minute, Molly. Wait a minute. Maybe Harlow followed the same guy that's been after me.
Oh, I don't think so, Fibber.
No?
You see, I followed this fellow to the far side of town.
Yeah?
Through alleys, up side streets, over fences, and through vacant lots.
Well, he could hardly go through a lot that wasn't vacant.
Oh, cut it out, Molly. I want to hear this. Go on, Frank.
Finally,
Finally, he looked around cautiously
Yeah?
and ducked into a garage. I crept up and peeked through the window.
I'll bet he was a bootlegger with a boot for one of his tires, huh?
No, sir. No, sir. He took a container of Johnson's car new from under his coat, and in almost no time, he had a dull, dingy-looking jalopy looking like it just came off the sales room. You know how car new cleans and polishes in one application, gives a beautiful luster with a minimum of effort. Well, sir...
Now, wait a minute, Wilcox. What the Sam Hill was he sneaking around town for? Why wasn't he proud to be seen with a container of car new like everybody else?
That's what I asked him. He said he didn't want anybody to tell his mother because he was surprising her by polishing her car for Mother's Day.
McGee, stop gnawing your nails.
Well, it was either that or say something the sponsor might regret. Do you have to take advantage of situations like this, Wilcox? Can't you be honest and manly and come right out and sell car new?
No, the trouble with you, Fibber, is you haven't got any sense of dramatic values. What kind of a story would Robinson Crusoe have been if Victor Hugo hadn't built up the suspense? Well, let me know if your spy is carrying car new, too.
Hey, Molly,
Yeah?
did Victor Hugo write Robinson Crusoe?
Why, of course not. It was written in the first person, so Robinson Crusoe must have written it himself.
Well, that's what I thought. Everybody knows Victor Hugo wrote Sherlock Holmes.
No, dearie. That was Mark Twain.
What did I say, Victor Hugo?
Yeah.
I meant Mark Twain. Well, anyway, hey, what's the matter?
McGee, that man is still there and still watching this house.
Oh, he is he? Give me my hat. I'm going out and find out.
No, McGee, be careful now. Those men are ruthless and cruel, you know.
What do you think I am? A Casper milkshake? I can handle him. First, I'll chop him across the throat with the edge of my hand like this. Ooh.
Oh, say, if you were as dangerous to other people as you are to yourself, I wouldn't let you out of my sight. What are you going to do, McGee?
I'm going to take a walk and see if that guy follows me some more.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Just around town a little.
Well, for goodness sakes, be careful now. I don't... Say, what are we whispering for?
I don't know what you're whispering for, but I hit myself in the neck so hard I can't talk. I'll be back in a little while.
The King's Men sing America's Calling.
Sons of America, your America's calling to you. Father of waters, let your sons and daughters echo the cry, thank God for freedom. Create island palisades, guard the home of the red, white, and blue. From border to border and coast to coast, America's calling to you. Oh, say, have you seen your America? Have you seen the Swanee shore? Oh, say, have you seen America? From the plains of Idaho down to Mexico. Have you seen the fields of Iowa? Have you crossed the great divide? Have you seen all the glories of Washington? Have you seen the giant redwoods that are California's pride? Oh, say, have you seen your America from the hills of Tennessee? Oh, say, have you seen America from the San Francisco Bay to the Great White Way? Have you seen Dakota's prairie land and the Lone Star's Alamo? Have you seen Valley Forge and the Delaware? Have you seen a certain statue with its giant torch aglow? You sons of America, take your stand for the red, white, and blue. North to the boundary and coast to coast, your America's calling to you.
guy still behind us, Molly?
Yes, he just ducked into a doorway.
I'm glad you decided to come with me after all. Two of us can watch him better than just one. Think he knows we're on to him?
Yes, I think he began to suspect something when you stuck your tongue out at him the first time.
He even took a picture of that. Click, click, click. I'm getting tired of being a photographer's model for a doggone foreign spy. Click, 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 all day long.
Yeah. Getting on my nerves, too, McGee. I really think you ought to call the FBI.
Okay, I'll duck into the cigar store down there and call. You wait outside and see what he does.
I will not. I'll come in with you and watch him through the window. I'm not going to be kidnapped and taken to Germany on a submarine. You know how I get seasick.
Oh, they won't do anything. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look who's coming down the street. Mrs. Uppington.
I wonder what she's looking so important about.
About 3/4 of the time, if you'll ask me.
Should we tell her about that spy following us?
I think we better. He might take her for overage battleship and scuttle her.
It's unthinkable that she'd be thinkable, though. And hello there, Abigail, darling.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Why, stranger, you know you're in danger?
I beg your pardon, Mr. McGee. In danger of what?
Look, Abigail, you see that fellow over there? He's a spy.
Good heavens, not really. Do you suppose he could have escaped from some Alfred Hitchcock picture?
Don't take this so lightly, Uppy. For all we know, he may be planning to blow this whole town up tomorrow night.
Oh, but he can't do that.
Huh?
I have a bridge party planned for next Friday.
Even Boston couldn't put a war off for a tea party, Abigail. This man is dangerous. You know, he's been following McGee all day long, taking pictures and sneaking around like a regular easel.
You mean weasel, Molly.
Yes, an easel is used for pictures.
Well, that's what they're using him for. Now, you be careful, Abigail. You know, he's seen you talking to us, so he may include you in his dirty work.
Yeah.
I think this whole thing is simply ridiculous. I have a good notion to walk over to him and demand an explanation.
You won't think that's such a good notion if he pulls a gun on you.
That is absurd. It's against the law to discharge firearms within the city limits.
Well, maybe so. But now we're telling you, Abigail, he's a dangerous character.
Well, what should I do?
Just walk on unconcerned, Uppy. I'm calling the FBI in a minute.
Yeah, just take it easy, Abigail. We'll let you know what happened.
Oh, well, thank you very much for warning me. Oh, I do hope this spy is caught. I should be so helpless in a concentration camp.
Why you particularly?
Well, Miss McGee, you know how difficult it is for me to concentrate. Well,
Hey, here's the cigar store. I'm going in and phone. You won't be scared?
Certainly not. Now go on in and phone.
Okay, I'll be right out.
Me and my shadow, da-dee-da.
Oh, hello there, Mrs. McGee.
Oh, hello, Mr. Wimple. See, now, don't look now, but there's a foreign spy over there taking our picture.
Oh, goodness. Doesn't he look repulsive?
Yes. McGee is inside the cigar store now, telephoning the FBI.
There must be quite a wave of crime and espionage in town, Mrs. McGee. You know, I caught a burglar jimmying his way into our house when I came home last night.
Oh, heavenly days, really? What'd you do?
I opened the door for him on condition that he'd go in first.
And did he do it?
Yes. The poor fellow. Sweetie Face thought it was me, and before you could say, "Where's the iodine?" she was shaking salt all over him.
Salt? What was that for?
Oh, that's just a little joke of Sweetie Face's. She likes to tie people up in knots like a pretzel and then shake salt over them.
Oh. Well, you're lucky you didn't go into the house first.
Oh, I don't know, Mrs. McGee. Lately, Sweetie Face has been very nice about my coming in late. The minute I tippy-toe in the front door, she gives me my slippers and my pipe and the latest novel.
Oh, she does?
Yes, right in the face.
It's okay, Molly. They got an agent on his way over here right now. Oh, hi, Wimp.
Hello, Mr. McGee. My, you seem excited.
Well, I should think he would be.
You better get going, Wimp. There's a federal dick on his way over here, and there's liable to be some gunplay. You better go too, Molly.
I will not. I'll just stand behind this wooden Indian here.
I'm really not an Indian, Mrs. McGee. My father...
No. She meant this cigar store Indian, Wimp.
Oh. Well, then, if you don't need me, I'll be trotting along, folks. I promised to take Sweetie Face to the circus.
Oh, really? Does Sweetie Face like circuses?
Oh, this is strictly business, Mrs. McGee. One of the gorillas is getting vicious, and they asked Sweetie Face to come over and slap him around a little.
Well, what did the FBI say when you called them up, dearie?
Oh, they said they were getting a lot of phony tips these days, but they couldn't afford to ignore any of them, so they said they'd be right over. Hey, look.
Heavenly days, look at them. They surrounded that man before he even saw them.
Yeah, he's showing them some cards. Uh-oh, they're looking over here. Boy, I bet I get a medal from the government for this. Catching a foreign spy is
McGee,
Huh?
look. They're laughing.
What?
Yeah.
Don't tell me he's got them fooled, too.
Well, we'll soon know. Here comes an FBI man.
You, Mr. McGee, did you call the FBI?
You're darn right I did, Bud. That guy there's been following me around all day, taking pictures. Click, click, click. Every place I went.
And where was that?
Oh, the Elks Club and the railroad station and the airport and the powerhouse.
And that excavation down at 14th and Oak, and the softball game on the corner lot at Maple Street.
Yes,
And
every place. He's a spy, that's what he is.
I beg your pardon, madam. We know that man quite well, and he is not a spy.
Oh, no? Well, what is he?
He's a photographer for a national magazine.
Well, then why has he been following my husband around all day?
Well, he told me to tell you he was sorry if he'd caused you any annoyance, but he's working on an assignment.
A likely story. What kind of an assignment could that be?
He says they wanted him to get up a picture story on how a small-town busybody spends his time. Any old rags or rubber or metal today, ladies? Have you joined the Scrap Brigade? In this week's issue of Life magazine, there's an advertisement by the makers of Johnson's Wax with suggestions to patriotic housewives on how to salvage valuable scrap materials for war production. You can help your country while you're doing your own spring house cleaning. You'll find suggestions there also on how to make your house cleaning easier all year by the regular use of genuine Johnson's Wax, paste or liquid, for protecting your floors, furniture, and woodwork. Wax provides the easy, inexpensive way to take better care of your things. It gives wood, leather, painted surfaces a shield of protection against wear. And as an extra dividend, it gives that much-desired rich, mellow beauty that you find only in wax-protected homes. There are 100 labor-saving uses for Johnson's Wax, paste or liquid, in your home. You can now buy Johnson's Wax also in cream form, especially formulated for the care of furniture and woodwork.
Hey, Molly.
Yes?
You know what?
No, what?
I think that guy fooled them government fellas. I still think he's a spy.
Oh, you do?
Yes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going out for a walk and see if he follows me anymore.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who arrived late may remain for the next show. This is where you came in.
Good night.
Good night.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. And reminding you that the government is in urgent need of 55,000 young women to enter schools of nursing this year and prepare themselves for national defense. Ask your state Nurses Association for further information. Good night. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Ow! Oh! Woo! Spread down! Yeah. I'm back! I know it! I'm back! I know it! Yes, I'm back! I'm back! I'm back! Get up off of that thing and dance to you feel better. Get up off of that thing and dance to you. Sing it now. Get up off of that thing and dance to you feel better. Get up off of that thing.
Good morning. Well, you can do a wake up to that if you'd like. This is J-Pac Luca. Everybody get up, dance. Get some breakfast. Don't hold the bowl of cereal while you're dancing, though. You might make a mess.
That's just not right.
JP's Talk About Town. Pete Coles is on the other side of the board. And we have a guest this morning. Ned Pavlak is sitting in the microphone next to me here. Ned is a communications major over at Holyoke Community College. Good morning, Ned.
Good morning to you, too.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We ran into each other at the on the green at the last concert on the green, which was something a little different that we do that we have not done before. It was more of a jazz focus on the concert. We often do usually pop or something like that, or a tribute band. But what did you think of the concert? And I'm curious why you came down to that one. Do you always come down to the concerts?
I really like the local concerts. It's really a good way to bring some flavor to Westfield and get people to
That's right, just go like that. Yeah.
It's really good to get people in the spirit of what Westfield is and how we like to get the community involved.
Are you a native of Westfield?
I'm originally born in Springfield.
So you transplanted?
Yeah, I was born in Springfield back in like '96 and stuff, and then I was raised in West Springfield.
Okay.
So Westfield's kind of like my second home.
Okay. Now, how long have you been here?
I started since middle school when it was at the North back in 2012.
All right.
So
now, when did you get interested in communications?
Since I got into, I would say, Westfield Tech, as a business tech major, I was always that type of person who loved doing Microsoft PowerPoint, and loved presenting about things that I liked, that I was passionate, whether it be going to air shows, whether it be going to the train shows, and really communicating about stuff I love, so that way it shows other people that I like to travel and stuff.
Were you up at the air show here in Westfield last year?
Yes, I was. I was actually even at the one in Chicopee.
Ah, okay. We were lucky enough to be able to broadcast from both of those.
I think I did try to watch it because of I was at a different place at the time, so I was in an area where there was trees, so you couldn't really see anything from your house, so I got to watch it on TV.
Excellent. Now, when you went to the air show, did you actually collect information and do a presentation on that for a class?
No, this was more of a summer thing. I would have been if I was asked for it, but during my 2 years of college, I was more of a dual enrollment student, so I really didn't.
Well, let me change the question then. If you were to do a write-up, and we'll use the Westfield Air Show, because I had a ball there. It was really cool to be on the front lines. What would you have written about, or what style would you have used for a presentation?
I would have probably used a PowerPoint, because I'm very good at it, and usually something I write about is, the essence of the air show. Why is it good to have it? Okay, so yeah, it maybe cost a little money for them, but to have it and for kids to see it and see what the military does besides their going to war and all that stuff.
And who would your audience be for the presentation?
Probably future generations. That's really I would say that's really my goal, is to, if I become a communications or if I get on air, to try to talk to people. Maybe I would like to go to the schools and talk about goals and how they can.
So you're seeing, well, obviously there's the excitement of the air show. Just seeing something go close to Mach 1 is, an F-15 taking off is just a cool thing anyway. But all the different aircraft and everything that's there is cool. What's your vision of the reasons that the military puts together a show like that?
My reasons is the military does it so that way people like my age, or who's trying to make their goals, they can see that the military is not all about fighting, shooting. It's also about being a part of the community, helping out. Like you see it all the time in other places where the military always gets called out to do community service. But that's also the fun part of being in the military, which is getting to put on air shows, getting to put on, community events.
So you see it as a marketing event, then it's a way to show what we can do. And I say we, but as a if I was part of the organization that produced the show, it's a marketing arm for them. It's here's what we do. It's not only not only cool, here's what flies, but I love seeing the behind the scenes stuff, producing the show, and then the technology that's there. And this is my love, is what makes the plane fly is the engineering behind all of that.
The good part is when they bring back the Navy, the old warplanes.
Old warbirds.
I've heard a lot of especially older people talk about it's good because it brings them back to not the bad memories, but also what times were like back then. So
it was a very World War II was a tough time for a lot of people, but those that flew those planes and were in some cases protected by those planes, it was something pretty special. The P-51 is one of my favorites, but my own World War II and plane story. I had a B-17, which was if you knew the Memphis Belle, if you'd ever seen that movie, that was about, in Europe you would always see the B-17s flying to bomb Germany, and a B-17 had flown. I was working the Berkshires. This has got to be 20 years ago, and I'm in Pittsfield, and I hear the drone of those big Pratt & Whitney, piston engines coming overhead. I go, that's not a new plane. That what is that? And I look up, and there it is. It's the B-17, and he's come circling to come in and land at Pittsfield Airport. I took a ride out there that afternoon, and he landed, and it was on display. By then they'd had a sign out front, come on in and see the B-17. This was touring the country. He was actually on his way to an air show. And, he'd stopped there to fuel, to rest, and he was going to leave the next morning. But come on up for, $5 or $10, you get to go on the plane. Well, I handed him 20. I says, here, I know this costs you a lot to keep in the air. And it was just me and the pilot sitting there for, I think we talked for half an hour up in the plane. He'd climb up in, and he let me sit in the cockpit with him. While we were there, an old timer comes up, sticks his head up. Of course, you climb up a ladder underneath. So we see this guy stick his head up, take a long look around. The guy must have been 80 years old, maybe older than that. And he takes a long look around, and the pilot looks down and welcomes him aboard and says, "Did you fly in one of these?" He goes, "No, but my brother did. And he was a navigator on one of these." He goes, "Where does the navigator sit?" The pilot pointed to the area of the plane where the navigator sat. Guy took a long look at the seat, and he goes, "My brother was sitting then right there when his plane went down. And I hadn't seen him since. I wanted to find out where he was when he died." You get the long look, and both the pilot and I, it just hit you. And he goes, after the guy left, thanked us, and he left. He went back downstairs. Pilot looked at me. He goes, "That's why we fly these around the country. That's why we maintain these." It affected so many people.
And the air shows, to me, any events, in a time when a lot of people my age are not really interested, they seem interested, but it takes them a long time to want to learn things what happened back then to appreciate what we have today in regards of, back then, a lot, like I was telling one of my friends, a lot of times if you wanted things, something you had to earn for, you had to fight for it. Today we get it a little easier than it would have been back then, especially in times of war. We still have it today, but we don't have to really fight for it as much as we did. So listening into their stories, especially the war stories, the people telling the stories, what they did, it kind of gets you thinking, wow, I'm pretty happy of what I have versus what they had, and you appreciate things a little easier.
Now, how could you turn that into something, a story? Now, you talked about communication in PowerPoint. Is your focus on writing or storytelling? Like you mentioned being on air. Of course, we're doing that here. What form, fast forward 4 years from now, what form of communication would be your favorite if you had to tell that story?
Well, I've been a part of a lot of speeches in my time. I've gone to Syracuse, I've gone to Worcester, through Westfield and Holyoke Community College, because I was a part of a Put Yourself on the Map tour.
Oh, okay.
And as a student, a previous student, we got to do like a live tracker,
What's a live tracker?
So we go through our typical day at a college,
A day in the life, okay.
And for future students, they get to see our story or our path and get to realize this is what college is. You get to do what you get to go, go lunch, go see friends, go to class, it's different when you leave high school,
So your audience were high school students?
Yes.
Okay.
But in that sense, a lot of the speeches I've done have been advocating, have been really trying to, because I'm a person who likes to live in the time of my parents and the time of this age. Try to really learn how to live in both worlds, not give up the new stuff without learning why we have it, That's why I feel like as a future is to continue going, maybe have my own radio station, maybe go out into these schools and talk about my experiences, so that way other kids like me can say, hey, I have a goal. I can achieve my goal if I'm willing to, not let other people tell you what to, type thing, People can learn, can realize that a goal is something that can be accomplished if you're willing, type thing.
So
if that gets to your answer.
It does. And my next question fell out of my head. So as you can see, we love to talk about lots of, my thing is entertainment here. My goal is to produce shows and entertainment music mostly around here in Westfield. What year are you in school?
I'm entering my third year.
Okay. So you're going to be done with that in another...
Probably 2 years, because I had started a dual enrollment through the Macy program.
Okay.
Inclusives for Community Enrollment program. Mm-hmm. And with that program, it gets a lot of kids who's either intellectual disabilities get a chance to experience what college is like while they're in high school or while they're finished with high school, either or. And they can pick classes that they feel like, some of them know what they want to do already. Me, I'm still kind of exploring. So I started out my first year with the public speaking class, then I did intro to communications, as well as photography and my general courses. once I turn 22, which I am now, I graduate from the East Monroe transfer and the ICE program, and then I can start my my degree or go to work. It's a decision, but I chose to do my full degree. So now I'm technically starting from scratch, because this is more of I can use the credits that I took that are transferable, but now I can do my classes that based on my degree.
Well, we're going to take a break in a minute and listen to a tune or two, and when we come back, here's something to think about. What would your dream job be? You know, once you get out of school. Now, me, it was the late 70s when I left school, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a living. But so if you haven't figured it out yet, it doesn't matter. But you mentioned goals, and we all have wonderful goals to pursue. Think about pick two goals. What if you had two options of your two favorite things to do? What would they be? This is JPEG Luca. We're JPEG Lucas and JP's Talk About Town. We're talking with Ned Pavlak, a student from Holyoke Community College, majoring in, what's the official title of the major?
Communications, Arts, and Humanities. Arts and Science.
Okay. And we'll be back right after this.
I don't want you to misunderstand me. I just want to say what's on my mind. No need to hit me with an attitude, because I haven't got the time. I want you to know one thing is certain. kick against the West Coast. Warner Brothers are such good hosts. I raise my whiskey glass and give them a toast. I'm sure they know it's true. I got no rap against the southern states. Every time I've been there, it's been great. But now I'm leaving and I can't be late. And to myself be true. I'm going to Kathmandu, up to the mountains where I'm going to. Hey, if I ever get out of here, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, Kathmandu, really, really where I'm going to. If I ever get out of here, I'm gonna Kathmandu. I got no quarrel with the Midwest. The folks out there have given me their best. I've lived there all my life, I've been their guest. I sure have loved it too. I'm tired of looking at the TV news. I'm tired of driving hard and paying dues. I figure, baby, I got nothing to lose. I'm tired of being blue. Oh, it's why I'm going to Kathmandu, up to the mountains where I'm going to. If I ever get out of here, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, Kathmandu, take me, baby, 'cause I'm going with you. If I ever get out of here, I'm gonna Kathmandu. Take it away. I ain't got nothing against the East Coast. You want some people, well, they got the most. And New York City's like a friendly ghost. You seem to pass right through. I know I'm gonna miss the USA. I guess I'll miss it every single day. But no one loves me here anyway. I know my plane is due. One that's going to Kathmandu, up to the mountains where I'm going to. If I ever get out of here, that's what I'm gonna do. Kathmandu, really, really, really going to. If I ever get out of
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Thursday morning from 6 till 8, it's Patrick Berry, owner of the Westfield News Group.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Good morning, everyone. This is Jay Pagluca. JP's Talk About Town for a Friday morning. Pete Coles on the other side of the board, and we're talking this morning with Ned Pavlak, a communications major at Holyoke Community College. Good morning again, Ned.
Good morning to you, too.
You mentioned that you went to Westfield Technical Academy.
That's correct.
And when you were a freshman, it was still the Voc.
Yes, when we when I was a freshman, it was still called Westfield Vocational Technical High School, and we had a principal who actually went from the middle school to our school. I think his name was Mr. Daly, Kevin Daly.
Okay.
And assistant principal.
Yes.
Yep.
And he joined our class because of we were one of the classes who had pretty good I would say attendance, and we had a really good aspect in our class of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And it changed to Westfield Technical Academy, I think in 2015, before, in that era between 2015 and 2016.
Now, what did you see? Granted, from freshman to sophomore, you're still focusing on what was your major at that point?
When I started,
or your focus?
When I started, I was either into computers, or I think I was into graphics, but I was the type of person who I did want a field that can transfer to a job someday. Or
so you worked around the print shop area, things like that?
Yeah, I ended up going to business tech after the whole freshman exploratory.
Okay.
Which really taught me a lot. I actually, I'm glad that the technical still does the explore, because it gives them a whole year to really, explore and see what shops
As a freshman, you still don't know what you're going to... where the heck do I want to go? Where do I fit?
I've been learning about that because I'm building the shop over there.
Yeah.
And it's actually state law that you have to do that. You have to do 1 days, 1 weeks, and then you do your shop. And it's state law that you have to do that, actually.
Now, you said you're building a shop. You're building a studio.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's also TV and radio broadcasting shop. It'll be part of graphic arts this year, but then it's spinning off onto its own next year.
And
it also has the public access, Channel 15.
And actually, when I started there was only, I think, 10 shops. 11 shops. There wasn't the one they had for the barns that came in.
That came in a couple years later.
2 years before. Yeah, 2 years. I think I was a sophomore when it came in.
So when the change to Westfield Academy or Westfield Technical Academy happened, as a student, did you notice anything different? Did you, in the offerings, in the feeling, the air about the school?
What interested me in the college was Westfield, was the fact that you had that 1 week academics, 1 week shop, and that's what I was really interested. Why I wanted to go was because being in middle school, having to, go through classes every back and forth, the bells and all that. I was like, I don't really want to do that in a high school because I wanted that little break in my week so that way I can do, other things I have to do in life. Or, if I have homework, say on Fridays, I can get that done in that week of shop, because most shops don't give you homework unless it's a shop that, business. The only time we had homework would be, if we had to do business math or something. But that was really interested me why going to business tech. It wasn't about co-op. It would have been great for co-op. It's just I really didn't want to do the working and school because I felt I was the person that really didn't like missing school at all, because of the fact that we're there for
the exception. I can't say that was me in high school. Anytime I could spend time out of classes, and I suppose it was the same thing, only it wasn't part of the curriculum, wasn't hanging around the auto shop or going and hanging around AV or the theater, but that's where I ended up. Yeah, any chance I could get out of class to do that, I would.
I think the other thing was the reason if I went to a co-op and I missed, I was always thought, well, now I have to make that up. And it's like, I do pretty good catching up, but it may take me a while because it's like everybody's way ahead of me and I'm like trying to catch up. And it would be very stressful. So I was like, okay, let's just focus on getting through the senior year. And then when I went to college, I was like, okay, now I can get a job and work because now I can play with my schedule and I'm not at the school for 8 hours a day and only have the rest of the afternoon for work. So
did the WTA, do you feel that the WTA prepped you for the next level?
It really did, especially the fact when I joined, when I went to the school, I actually did not think about going to college. I wasn't someone that wanted to because, one, I was still living with my family and, I had issues going on with them. And I really didn't have a lot of things that I do now in regards to have a nice, good place I'm living in now. I had to leave my family back then, but it's just I didn't have anybody to ask, hey, if I go to college, can I have someone pay for it? Because I didn't have anybody at that time. But now that I went to the
Technical
Academy, and I had Sherry's program in YouthWorks, I had ways that I could go to college. Actually, when I joined Sherry Elander's East Mountain Road program, I was like the one student who wanted to go to Holyoke Community College, and actually there was a whole bunch of students who wanted to go too. So Sherry had to decide, try to get me in that one spot left. So
Sherry was one of the instructors over there.
She was one of the she's one of the program coordinators of the East Mountain Road transition program. I had met her when they were doing the YouthWorks summer program.
Okay. And
I was getting to my sophomore, senior year, and I was in a new, better place. So I was like, I want to go to college, And there was, I think, one spot left for Holyoke Community College. So.
Well, that's cool. That's extremely cool. All right, we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, kind of an open forum, and we'll talk about, what I was going to talk about last time, the hopes and dreams. Where do you want to go? This is JPEG Luca, JP's Talk About Town. Am I rambling again? Yeah. Ned Pavlak is my guest this morning. Where's my coffee? We'll be back right after this.
wish I could sing it to you. Oh, 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 oh. Mostly I'm silent, silent, la 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 la. Never think of the right words to say when I kiss you. I feel 1,000 different feelings, of chills all over my body. And while I feel them, I quickly try to decide which one I should try to put into words. Oh no, try to put into words. Oh, 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 mostly I'm silent, silent. La 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 la. Silent. Oh, in the beginning, what I want to feel forever. Yeah. Oh, oh. Yes, only the beginning of what I want to feel forever. Only the beginning. Oh, that's just a start. Yeah, I got to get you in my life, mama. Got to get you next to me. Yeah, all in the beginning. Oh, that's just a start. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
He rules the roost on Thursday from 6 till 10. It's Patrick Berry.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
And this is JPEG Luca with JP's Talk About Town. You've made it to another Friday. Well,
amazing.
Yeah. And actually, you've made it almost to the end of summer. Summer, it's the unofficial end of summer. This Monday is Labor Day, of course. Everyone's having their final picnics. I'm putting together my final fruit salad for a big party that I'm going to. Well, all right, let me be real. My wife is putting together the final fruit salad. So we've had a really nice past hour or so, or a little less than an hour, with Ned Pavlak. Ned is a communications major at Holyoke Community College. So you're going to end, how much longer you got there?
Well, I'm at my associate's degree, so that can take probably 2 to 4 years. So I would think probably in the next 2 years, maybe later.
And when you're done, where's your next stop?
I would like to start to check out the communications here. Hopefully, try to see what's. I know I got an offer to be at the HUC's radio station on the first week of classes, so I get to see how that goes and see where.
Well, have a good time over there. I know. We've been blessed to have a wonderful studio here at Westfield State, and I feel lucky to have been able to play here for over 4 years. We've been doing this here in the morning. So what we hope it's good for the community. We certainly have a lot of fun doing it. And I hope you've enjoyed your visit here in the studio.
Yes, and I learned a lot, and now this was a good idea of where I want to go. As you were asking that question about where I see my future, I kind of see my future as someone who maybe has my own, like I've actually listened to a lot of talk show hosts before, like for example Mark Levin. I really liked how he puts things based on his mind. But in regards, I would like to be the person who has an open forum type conversation with someone, whether it be whatever goes on in the world, as well as music, and kind of like that type of person where someone asks me questions about something, I answer them, we have a nice conversation, and to the next person.
Sounds like you're well on your way. So thanks again, Ned, for visiting. We really appreciate it. Next up, we have Mark Auerbach with Artsbeat Radio. And Mr. Auerbach, wandering into the studio, What do you have on your agenda for the day?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing okay, Mark. Good morning. Haven't seen much of you this summer. I've kind of faded in the last month, so it's good to be back.
Our schedules and our paths haven't crossed at all. Today, we're going to do an entire hour with the folks at Hartford Stage, who, believe it or not, start their season this week. And with the world premiere called Make Believe. We'll be talking with Elizabeth Williamson, who's the Associate Artistic Director, about their entire upcoming season. And in the second half hour, we'll be talking with Jackson Gay, who's the director of Make Believe. So if you thought that there was the end of summer theater and the beginning of fall theater, there really isn't anymore. It just keeps on going.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's, we're incredibly lucky here in southern New England to have all of the theater, all of the entertainment that we do. And if you look around, you wonder, you don't know what's out there, the magic that's out there, from Hartford Stage to the Bushnell to the small theaters in Chester. And you cover them all.
It's been an incredible summer of theater for me personally. I've seen a couple of productions that have just left me totally wowed. One is West Side Story at Barrington Stage, which closes this weekend. And another one is Oliver down at Goodspeed, which runs for another couple of weeks. So if you're looking for something to do on the holiday weekend, there's plenty of theater around.
That sounds great. Thank you, Mark. Well, this is Jay Pagluka with JP's Talk About Town. We're going to wind things down. We sure do appreciate you visiting us. We'll be back next week. I have no idea what we're going to do, which is kind of typical for me, but we will be talking about arts and entertainment more as we do every Friday. And of course, JP's Golden Age of Radio, which happens at least once at 6:30 each Friday morning. Don't forget, coming up, we have Ghost Tours right here in Westfield. That's going to be the end of September. You can go over to the Westfield Athenaeum, and tickets will be available there. And then in the middle of October, October 13th on Saturday to be exact, Pumpkin Fest returns to Westfield. Not only will we be on Court Street and the Green, but we'll be all the way down Elm Street. It is bound to be a wonderful family fun day for Greater Westfield. So, to the rest of everyone, thanks once again for joining me. Have a great weekend. Get out and see some live entertainment.
Down that street, and you ain't had enough to eat. The glitter rubs right off, and you're nowhere. They say the women treat you fine on Broadway. But looking at them just gives me the blues. 'Cause how you gonna make some time when all you got is one thin dime, and one thin dime won't even shine your shoes. They say that I won't last too long on Broadway. I'll catch a Greyhound bus for home, they all say. But they're dead wrong, I know they are, 'cause I can play this here guitar, and I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway. I won't quit till I'm a star. off your